Your rights, your wrongs, your trials, your glory. Don't be afraid to tell your story. Use your courage and don't be afraid. Though I know that it's hard to be brave, there is power in all that you say, 'cause you're fearfully wonderfully made. You have got the strength, it's always in you. Have got the fight, you know what to do. With all this love, it's all up to you. Have got this, you have got it. You have got the strength, it's always in you. Have got the fight, you know what to do. With all this love, it's all up to you. Have got this, you have got it. Have got the strength, it's always in you. Have got the fight, you know what to do. With all this love, it's all up to you. Your rights, your wrongs, your trials, your glory. Don't be afraid to tell your story. Use your courage and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Though I know that it's hard to be brave. It's hard to be brave. There is power in all that you say. All that you say. 'Cause you're fearfully wonderfully made. Fearfully wonderfully made.
I've got the strength, it's always in you. I've got the fight, you know what to do. With all this love, it's all up to you. I've got this, you have got it.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How y'all doing this happy Sabbath day, happy Sabbath day. This is the day that the Most High have made, so let us be glad and rejoice in it. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. I hope your week has been a great week. I hope the Most High have really truly blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. I hope the Most High have really truly blessed your offsprings and blessed you with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. I hope the Most High really truly have blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. I really truly hope He has. My week has been an okay week this week. For those who listen to me, you all know that I was out. I was camping last week, so I just decided to take a day and just camp and just get some me time. But I'm back this week. Hoping that this word resonates with you today, because the season that we're in, because of everything that we got going on in the world today. I hope this word resonates with you today. If you can, turn to Exodus chapter 20 verse 1 through 17. And it reads, and Ananias said, I spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy Ananias, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. And thou shalt have no other idols before me. And thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah thy Ananias, am a jealous Ananias, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy Ananias in vain, For Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy Anani. In it thou shalt not do any works, thou nor thy sons, nor thy daughter, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers, that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy fathers and thy mothers, that thy days be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy Adonai giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adulteries, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors, and thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's house, and thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservants, nor his maidservants, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So let us pray. O creators of the heavens and earth, of all radiance and vibrations, soften the grounds of our beings and carve out a space with us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear fruits of our missions. Let each of our actions bear fruits in accordance with our desires within your purpose for our life. Restore us with the wisdom of produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled thread of destiny that binds us as we release others from the entanglement of the past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which distracts us from our true purpose, but illuminate the opportunities of present moments. For you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the creator, power, and fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole once again. So let it be. Like I said, happy Sabbath day. Happy Sabbath day. Happy Sabbath day. This is the day that the Most High have made, so let us be glad and rejoice in it. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. Amen. If you could turn to the book of Matthew. The book of Matthew. The book of Matthew. Chapter 12. Book of Matthew, chapter 12. Here you go. Chapter 12. Chapter 12, verses 46 through 50. And the key verse is verse 50. And it reads, and it says, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same as my brother and sister and mother. Let me read it over. It says, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same as my brother and sister and mother. Okay? And the title of the text today is Family is Not Always Family. Okay? Family is not always family. Okay, the two words that I have for you today. One is kindred. 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 Kindred is a 12th century word. It means family, lineage, race, nation, tribe, people, kinfolks, blood relations, relations by birth, relative by blood. That's what kindred means. Kindred means lineage, race, nation, tribe, people, kinfolks, especially by blood relations, relations by birth, relations by blood. That's what kindred means. When you hear somebody say, them your kinfolks, they're talking about it from a viewpoint of blood. They're talking about it from a relationship from kinfolks of blood. Okay? But also the next word is family. Family is a 15th century word. Family is a 15th century word. It means the collective body of persons who live in one's house and under one's head, or manager, a household including parents, children, and servants. That is the later version. That is the 1600. That's the 1660 definition. But the 1500 definition means this right here. It means servant of a household, family servant, domestic collectively, the servant in a household. That's what family means from a Bible diction, from the text that I'm talking about today. It's going to be coming from a viewpoint of servant, not from a viewpoint of kindreds. But it's two definitions. Kindred means lineage, race, nation, tribe, people. It means kinfolks, blood relations, relations by birth. That's what kindred means. But family means a servant of a household, family servant, domestic collectively, the servant in a household. Okay? That's the difference today, okay? And when we're looking at chapter 12 in Matthew's, it's talking about what is the most important part for us to be able to understand, in my viewpoint, the text of this chapter is the first, I say, five verses. And let me read them to you because it's talking about a dispute. The argument, the conversation is a dispute over the Sabbath day. Okay? It says a dispute is engaged in argumentation or discussion. Dispute means to fight over, contend for, or discuss. That's what it means, or to examine. So, what we're looking at, a discussion or an argument over the Sabbath day and how you should live or be on the Sabbath day. Okay? Let me read it to you. It says, at the time Jesus went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were in hunger, and began to pluck the ears of corn, and to eat. But the Pharisees saw it. They said unto him, behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. But he said unto them, Jesus said unto them, have ye not read what David did when he was in hunger, and they that were with him, and how he entered into the house of God and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priest? Or have ye not read in the law how on that Sabbath day the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. But if ye have known what this means, I will have mercy, and not sacrifice. Ye will have not condemned the guiltless. For the Son of the Man is Yahuwah, even the Sabbath day. Okay, so what was actually taking place is Jesus and the Pharisees was having an argument about what you should be doing on the Sabbath day. What you should be doing and how you should be doing things. That's what Jesus was talking about. And then it goes down to talking about, should you really do good on the Sabbath day, or should you do nothing on the Sabbath day? And it's talking about your behavior, it's talking about your character, it's talking about how you should behave on the Sabbath. And that is what I think we need to understand today. Is we're talking about today about our behavior. Let us go to Matthew chapter 13 verse 30 for a second. Because I also want us to understand that in this day and time, the Most High is separating people. He's separating people, and that is the hard part about reality, is that accepting the separation. Right. It says in Matthew chapter 13 verse 30, it says, let both grow together unto the harvest. And in the same time of harvest I will say to the riper, gather ye together the first the tares, and bind them in bundle to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. So what the Most High is doing right now, He's separating the people based on their behavior and their spiritual beliefs. Not their physical belief, but their spiritual beliefs. And He's separating the people because He's trying to really find His true family and not His kinfolks. See, when you look at kinfolks, let's go to Matthew chapter 1. When you look at kinfolks, you're talking about genealogy. And I'm just going to read the first two verses. Okay, it says, the book of generations of Jesus Christ, of Yahshua HaMashiach, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham begotten Isaac, Isaac begotten Jacob, Jacob begotten Judas and his brother. These are talking about kinfolks, relatives, by blood. When you're looking at Matthew chapter 1, you're talking about kinfolks or relatives by blood. Doesn't mean that all these people that was in Yahshua HaMashiach's genealogy did the right thing. But it is telling you these are his kinfolks through the bloodline. Understand there's a difference when we're talking about physical bloodline and spiritual behavior. It's a totally different thing. And that's something that I think we have to understand, because right now I want us to understand this. That ain't gonna work. I want us to understand this. Kinfolks is talking about the bloodline. Or kindred is talking about the bloodline. Family is talking about your spiritual connection to people. And what you are doing and what they are doing for the purpose of the Most High. Because I remember I used to hear this thing all the time when I used to go to church. And you say, "This is my church family." When they say this is my church family, that means that these are the people that I'm close with when it comes down to dealing with Christ or the Messiah. They're also saying that this is my church family who is closer to me than my genealogy or my kinfolks by blood. And the reason why they are closer to me is because we believe the same thing. We don't, my relatives or my kinfolks, we don't act the same and we don't think the same. So I don't consider them my church family. I just consider them my kinfolks. Because it's a physical connection, but it also is so much deeper when it comes to spiritual connection. You understand what I'm saying? And see, in this text, Jesus was trying, Yahshua the HaMashiach was trying to get the people to think on such a higher level than what they was thinking on. Because a lot of time, all skin folks ain't kin folks. You ever heard that slogan? And then that means that they should have been saying all kin folks ain't family. Because all kin folks don't mean you goodwill. All blood relative people don't have the best intentions for you nor anybody in their family. But your family, from the spiritual viewpoint, have your best intentions and have the best motives for you. Because they're looking at you from a spiritual viewpoint than from a physical viewpoint. And that's what we have to look when we're looking at this text. We got to be able to look at things on how how Yahshua HaMashiach is speaking and how he says it and when he is saying it, because we got to understand that the issue here is about the thought process of the people on the Sabbath and how they should do things on the Sabbath day. Because that's why he used the parable. That's why he was talking about, that's why they was messing with him. It says, at that time Jesus went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were in hunger. This is the situation, this is the environment. Listen to it. And began to pluck the ear of corn and to eat. And then it says, but when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. See, they probably, from the Pharisees' viewpoint, they was thinking that they might have been working or whatever the case might have been. But whatever they saw it from a negative view, a negative opinion. And a lot of the times, when you're looking at things, either we're looking at it from a physical or a spiritual experience. Now, it's either one or the other. Because I was reading the Third Testament a little bit this week, and it was talking about everything that we go through is a spiritual teaching moment. A spiritual teaching moment. And it was saying that you should be learning every day from your experiences. But it shouldn't necessarily just be from a physical sense. It should also be from a spiritual sense. And what I mean by spiritual sense is, we should be saying, okay, what is the Most High telling me in this situation? You can say the physical is what did I learn? But then from the spiritual, you'll be saying, what did the Most High want me to get from this viewpoint? And see, this week the Most High was dealing with me. He said, if somebody is willing to destroy their kinfolks, like their brothers and their sisters, what make you think that they're not willing to destroy you when you're not their brother and their sister? If they're willing to destroy their physical bloodline brother and sister, what make you think that they won't do it to you? And the reason why they would do with me the same way they did other people is because they see me as kinfolks and not family. That's why it says in in Proverbs 18 and 24. It says, a man that haveth friends must show himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. So, what the Most High is saying is, the reason why this verse is saying what it is saying, because when you are friends with someone, you understand how to be a friend. That means that you're going to be compassionate, you're going to have mercy, you're going to have grace. You're going to be whatever that person needs for you to be his friend. You're going to be trustworthy. You're going to also be transparent. But sometimes as brothers and sisters, we won't have that same thought process or viewpoint. Because brothers, they have done more to harm their own brothers and sisters than sometimes people in the streets have. And the reason why I said that, let us go to Genesis chapter 4. Chapter 4. Verses 1 through 8. And then I'm going to get back to the text, because I want us to understand something. Kinfolks is your blood lineage. Your family is your spiritual connection with people. That's your true family. It's the people who think the way you think, who believe, who pray for you, who have the best intentions for you. Sometimes your family is much more important than your kinfolks or your blood relatives, because your blood relatives don't have good intentions for you, but your family does. And that's what we have to be able to separate, is that we have to separate our blood relatives or kindreds or kinfolks from our spiritual family. Because the spiritual family will be there when you need them. They will be in the valleys praying with you. They will be there for you when you need them. But your kinfolks won't. And that is something that we got to look at and separate. You can't take it personal, but you got to separate it, because the simple fact is, that's just the way it is. And we have to accept that. Okay? In Genesis chapter 4 verse 1 it says, and Cain and Abel, it says that Adam knew Eve and his wife, And she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Yahuwah. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep. Listen to everything that I'm saying to you. Listen to it. Listen to the characters. Listen to the behaviors. Listen to it. Okay, and she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep. But Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruits of the ground an offering unto Yahuwah. And Abel also brought of the firstling of his flocks and of the fat thereof. And Yahuwah had respect unto Abel and to his offerings. But unto Cain and to his offerings he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. Listen to this. And Yahuwah said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? Listen to this. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desires, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with his brother, and Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they was in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. That was the first murder. And the first murder, and the first killing, that's the first murder. That was the first murder in the Bible, and it came between two brothers which are kinfolks. And it all came because of jealousy. So that's why I say all kinfolks ain't family. And all family ain't kinfolks. So now when we're looking at the passage, we're talking about Matthew. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 12. When we're talking about the passage, right? We're talking about the passage of the Pharisees having a dispute with Yahshua the HaMashiach over the Sabbath, which is right and which is wrong. How you should be and how you shouldn't be. And then what gets me is that they go down and he give another parable. He give another parable about a man with a withered hand, and how Yahshua healed the man on the Sabbath day. Yahshua the HaMashiach was doing good work on the Sabbath day. But they had a dispute and an issue with that. And the question is, why would you have, even though it's a day of rest, it's a day of rest from working. It's a day of work from working. When it comes down to labor, it's not a day of rest when it comes down to doing good deeds from the viewpoint of Yahshua the HaMashiach. And let me read it to you. And it says, And when he departed thence, he went into the synagogue, and behold, there was a man which had his hands withered. And they asked him, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? That they might accuse him. And he said unto them, What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it falls into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it and lift it out? How much more then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do well. Listen to that. It is lawful to do well on the Sabbath day. And see, that was the dispute. That's why he gave them the example. Would you let your sheep drown in the water on the Sabbath knowing that you need that sheep? Or would you just go get it because it's the right thing to do? And see, that is the difference between a kinfolks and family. Doing the right thing whenever it needs to be done. And see, a lot of us, we try to stick to the law so much where we bypass, we make more mistakes trying to stick to the law than to doing the right thing. And the reason why I say that is because, and I'm going to get ready to get to the text in a second, but I'm just trying to build the story. It's like one day a guy came to me and said he had a friend, and the friend had a daughter. He said that his daughter's car had broke down on the side of the road. His daughter's car had broke down on the side of the road on the Sabbath day. And he said the father did not go and pick the daughter up off the street and help her fix her car because it was on the Sabbath day. He said that he was not going to do any work on the Sabbath day. He don't care who was broke down on the side of the road. So it's like he was leaving his daughter out there to be a prey to whoever comes by. And that's the thought process that we need to deal with, because sometimes you can have some kindred or kinfolks, or you can really have some family that believe the way you believe, spiritually and physically. And see, a lot of the times we try to attach ourselves to our kinfolks when we should be really trying to attach ourselves to our spiritual families. Because the spiritual families will do more for you than your real kinfolks will. So let us go ahead and go down to verse 46. Because I want you to listen to what is being said, how it's being said in Matthew chapter 12. Matthew chapter 12, verse 46 through 50. I really want you to listen to the conversation. Listen to what is being said. Because how Yahshua the HaMashiach sees it and how we see it is totally different. Because, let me read you this. Let me read you this. It says in 1 John 5 and 7, it says, "For there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost. These three are one." So, when I say that, I'm saying that Jesus is the Word. Jesus, Yahshua the HaMashiach, is the Word. Understand that. Yahshua the HaMashiach is the Word. Okay? So, I want you to hear what is actually being said. in James chapter 2, verse 1. Or let us go to Romans. Let us go to Romans chapter 2, verse 11. It says, this is the only verse I want to read. It says, for there is no respect of person with God, with Ananias. I want us to understand that there is no respect of person with Ananias. That's Romans chapter 11, Romans chapter 2, verse 11. Understanding that the Most High really don't care who you are. He care what you do. At the end of the day, he cares more about what you do than who you are. Hear that. Listen to that. Because he don't care about your bloodline lineage. He care about what you truly believe in and what you do as people. Because kinfolks are some of the most harmful people to people. Okay, in chapter 12, verse 46 through 50 in Matthew's. Matthew chapter 12, verse 46 through 50. Because what his family just tried to do, right? Because what they was trying to do is they was really trying to stop him from embarrassing himself talking about the Sabbath day. They was trying to really make sure that it was just a lot of stuff going on. And they was really trying to help him out a lot, his mother and his sister. Okay? They was really trying to stop him, but he was doing the will of the Father, but they didn't really comprehend what he was doing. So let us go ahead and say, it says, while Yahshua the HaMashiach yet talked with the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brother stands without, desiring to speak with thee. They wanted to speak to him because of the things that he was saying and why he was saying it and what he was doing. And he was trying to stop him. They was trying to stop him from embarrassing the family. And see, sometimes your kinfolks care more about their reputation than the truth and healing the family. A lot of the times your kinfolks only want to continue to have the reputation of the family look good compared to the reality of the family and deal with the issues within the family. They will do whatever they got to do to keep the reputation of the family looking the way they want it to look and not actually what it is. I have experienced that on so many different levels, that relatives or kinfolks or kindreds they don't care about an individual person more than they care about the representation of the family. And that is something that he's trying to, he don't care nothing about what his mother, his sister, or his brother and them trying to say to him, because he's trying to do the will of the Father. Listen to this. Listen to this. Hear me. When you're trying to do the will of the Father, you ain't out to try to please nobody. You just trying to come fix a problem. You just trying to come help fix the problem. Let us go to John chapter 17 real fast for a second. Now let us go to Matthew chapter 1 verse 24 real fast. 21 real fast. See, we got to understand that everybody has a purpose. And everybody's purpose is driven by intentions. Whether the purpose is to keep things covered up because their purpose is to make sure that their family keep a good representation, or somebody else's intention is to heal the family, even if it calls to expose the family flaws. It's not about, but you got to realize that it's about the intentions and the person of the people. See, in Matthew chapter 1 verse 21, it says, "And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus or Yahshua, for he shall save his people from their sins." That was his whole intention, that was his whole motive, and that was his whole purpose. Was to save his family lineage from sin. And so whatever he had to do, he was willing to do it, because he understood that there was a bigger purpose for him. It was much bigger than him. And also let us go to John chapter 17 verse 9. It says, "I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me. For they are thine, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine. And I am glorified in them." He said, and now I am no more in the world, and these are in the world. I come to thee, Holy Father, keep through thy own name those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are. See, he didn't come to pray for the whole world because he understood the whole world didn't believe in him, which are not, the whole world is not his family. He was only dealing with the ones who he considered to be his family. And that's the mindset that we have to have as people today. That Most High is separating the people through mindset and bloodline. Because he's getting ready to deal with the group of people because of how they think. And how you think is how you behave. He's taking the fish scales off people's eyes to actually show you how your kinfolks, how they really are as people. and how you need to really disconnect yourself from people because you think that they are your skin folk. Because you think that your skin folks are your kin folks. And your kin folks may not always be your skin folks. And see, I'm going to say this and I'm going to go back to Matthew chapter 12. Verse 46, 47. A lot of y'all ain't finna like what I'm finna say, but I'm finna say it. A lot of y'all are voting for Kamala Harris because y'all think she's your kin folks. When she really ain't your kin folk. A lot of y'all are not voting for Donald Trump because he ain't your kin folks. He ain't your skin folks, but he might be your kin folks. Or what I'm saying is, you're voting for Kamala Harris because you think that she is your kin folks, or you think she's your kin folks, when she actually may not be your kin folks. Some of y'all are not voting for Donald Trump because he's not your kin folks, when he might be part of your family. Because he may have the best intentions for you, but you may not see it because the simple fact is how he presents it. That make any sense? Sometimes your family ain't your family. And your kinfolks really ain't your kinfolk. So, back to Matthew chapter 12, verse 47, it says, Then one said unto him, Behold, thy mother and thy brothers stand without, desiring to speak with thee. But he answered and said, listen to this, please. But he answered and said unto him that told him, Who is my mother? And who are my brother? He stretched forth his hand towards his disciples and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. See, in this verse, Yahshua HaMashiach didn't talk about no color. He didn't talk about no nationality. He was just talking about your actions. Everything that you do, as long as it's right in the eyes of the Father, you are part of the family. You are part of his family. That's the only thing he was emphasizing about, because he rejected to have a conversation with his kinfolks in verse 46 and 47. Because everybody was looking at the physical realm. But Yahshua the HaMashiach is so much greater. He was dealing with things on the spiritual realm. Because Yahshua the HaMashiach is the Word. And the Word is spirit. Let me go to this and let me show you. John 6 and 63, it says, it is the spirit that quicketh, which is the Word. The flesh profiteth nothing. The word that I speak unto you, they are spirit, and they are life. See, the word is life that we read every day. The Bible, the Biblia is the word of life. And Yahshua is the word of life. That's why he say no one can come through the Father unless they come through me. So when we're looking at what he is saying, he says, you are my family when you do what the Father say do, along with when I do what the Father say do. Well, when we on one accord. Okay, Acts chapter 1. No, Acts chapter 2. See, it never said that any of the disciples was family related. It never said that they was family related. But that he called the disciples families because they believed in what he was doing and he was doing. They was doing what he was doing. Okay. It says in Acts chapter 2 verse 1, it says, when the day of Pentecost was fulfilled, fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. Hear that. When you, no, let us go to John chapter 14. John chapter 1 verse 14. Then I go back to Acts chapter 2 verse 1. And then it says, and the Word was made flesh and dwelled among us. See, in order for us to become family with Yahshua the HaMashiach, we have to become one with the Word. We have to do what the Word say do, how the Word say do it, and when the Word say do it, in order for us to become part of His family. We got to be on more of a spiritual alignment with Him so that we can receive the blessings from Him. That's why He was able to go out there and heal the people, because He became one with the Word. It says, the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory, and the glory as the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. And so, when we become one with the Word, we become part of His family, because we receive the blessings that He gives us. So when we become one with the Word, we're with Him. Just like now in Acts chapter 2 verse 1. When the disciples, it says in the day of Pentecost were fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them doves, tongues, cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat upon them, and they were filled with the Holy Ghost. And they began to speak with other tongues, as the Spirit gave them utterance. So when we become, if we want to become part of the spiritual, part of Yahshua's HaMashiach's family, we have to become one with His Word and do what He has called us to do. that's what we have to do. We cannot think that because we are Hebrew Israelites, we are going to automatically be designated as part of his family. We can't automatically say that. Our actions has to represent our thought process, and our thought process has to resembles the word of Yahshua the HaMashiach. In order for us to call us his family. But when you're looking at your kindreds, if you look at your family lineage, or your kindreds, or your kinfolks, all y'all have different viewpoints. All of y'all don't think on the same level. All of y'all don't act the same way. All of y'all are just discombobulated, just do what you want to do, how you want to do it, the way you want to do it. But you are from the physical realm. But when you want to be connected to the spiritual family, you all have to come up under one accord. We all have to be, we should be all doing the same things right now at the same time in order to represent the Yahshua the HaMashiach and want to be considered part of his family. Our character and our deed has to represent that. We cannot say we're going to associate ourselves with a person because of the color of their skin. I want y'all to hear that. We cannot say that I'm going to associate myself with this person because of the color of their skin. And whatever this person does, I'm going to ride and die with this person because of the color of their skin. Because they may be your skin folk, but that doesn't mean that they're your family. And we cannot just disregard somebody who don't look like us and disregard him and say he's not my family because he don't look like us. Because his intentions may be better than the person who who's part of your lineage. How many times people in the street treat you better than your own blood relatives? And they don't look nothing like you. That's something we got to understand and look at very closely. Because I'm saying to you, this week, it separated my blood relatives. This week separated my blood relatives because the way we think. And the way we think is how we act. I mean, when I say it split it down the middle, it split it down the middle. But you would expect more from your blood relatives than what you get. But you can't expect more from your blood relatives if they don't think the way you think. If they don't have the intentions you have. You can't expect more. You got to expect what you get because of the thought pattern. And I want us to understand that. I'm going to say this to you. And I'm going to give you about 3 or 4 verses and then I'm done. In John chapter 14, verse 15, how you can become part of Yahshua the HaMashiach family. It's all about your actions and what you do and how you do them. Right? Because family is not always family. Your family is how people treat you. In John chapter 14, verse 15, it says, if you love me, keep my commandments. That's what it says. John chapter 14, verse 15, Yahshua the HaMashiach said to him, if you love me, and that's supposed to be your relative, if that's supposed to be your creator, if you love me, keep my commandments. By you keeping your commandment, by you keeping his commandment, showing him that you love him. Your actions is very important at this time. Everything that you do, how you do it, the way you do it is so vital right now. How you think right now is so vital. My wife was talking to a friend of hers yesterday, and it was just that she was in so much disbelief. My wife was looking at me like, what you finna say? My wife was so much in disbelief because of the conversations. Yes, you was in disbelief because you couldn't understand that they thought the way they thought.
Oh.
The key word in Matthew chapter 12, verse 50 is this word right here. It's a 2-letter word. It says for us, whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother and my sister and mother. Just that little word right there, it's a 2-letter word. Do. That's why it's a dividing of the tares and the sheep right now, because he's getting those who's doing his will, and he's keeping them over here. He's putting them in the barn. But those who hasn't done his will, he's getting ready to bungle them up and burn them. That's why so much death on the earth right now. Because the Most High is separating the wheat from the tares. That's why so much death on the land, because he's separating his people from the world. That's why so much death is because he's separating the people. Psalms 46:3 says, and see, we're looking at the physical and the spiritual realm right now. Understand that the word is spiritual. In order for us to walk one with the word, we gotta walk from a spiritual and not a physical. Okay? So it says in Psalms 46:3, it says, put not your trust in prince, nor in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help. See, when we begin to put our trust and faith in man, we disregard Yahshua the HaMashiach. And that means that we are a child of the world and not a child of Yeshua the HaMashiach. This is what he says in John chapter 4, verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enemy with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of God. Enmity, let me read it over. It says, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is war with Anani? And whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of Anani. So whenever you decide to listen to the world and their viewpoints and how they think and how they want you to think and how they want you to be, you're at war with Anani. So how can he have you as a spiritual family when you're doing everything that the world tells you to do? That's why family ain't always family. A lot of times we got to make some hard choices and decisions. Are we going to be a friend of the world or are we going to be a friend of Anani? You can be his spiritual family, but you got to do what he say do. Let us go to Acts chapter 16, verse 30 and 31. Because he was at war with, he had a dispute with the Pharisees because of the way they think. But it comes down to basically, are you going to do the will of the Father and you're going to believe what the Father says to believe? Or are you going to do what the world tell you to do and what the world tell you to believe? It says, thou shalt not kill. The word kill means to murder. Thou shalt not murder. It says man should not be dressing in women's clothes and women shall not be dressing in man's clothes. But the world is telling us that it's okay to murder. It's telling us that it's okay for a woman to be and have unnatural feelings. It is okay. The world is telling it's okay for a young boy to dress in women's clothing. But that goes against Anani. How can you say you want to be a part of Anani's family when you are agreeing with the world? How can you say that you want to be part of Anani's family when you're agreeing that it's okay to go out there and kill people or murder people for no reason at all? How can you say you want to be part of the family when you're not walking spiritually in the way it's supposed to be walked? In Acts chapter 16, verse 30 and 31, it says, brought them out and said, sirs, what must I do to be saved? And they said, believe on Yeshua the HaMashiach, and thou shalt be saved and thy house. They spake unto him the word of Yahuwah, and to all that were in his house. And he took them the same hour of the night, and washed their stripes, and was baptized, and he all his straight way. So how can we ask how can we be saved if we really don't want to believe Yahshua the HaMashiach word? Then if we say we believe it, are we going to walk it out? Are we going to live it? You can't say I believe Yahshua the HaMashiach word, but it's okay for a young boy to dress like a girl, and it's okay for a girl to dress like a boy. It's okay for a young boy to get his organs changed to a female, and then a female to get her organs changed to a young man. We can't say that we believe Yahshua the HaMashiach word, but believe that, and it's okay to do that. We can't say we believe in Yahshua the HaMashiach word when he said, thou shalt not murder. But we're agreeing to send our kids over there to murder innocent people. You're only my family because of how you think and how you behave. You're not my family because we look like. We look alike. Let's go to Galatians chapter 5. And read 5, 6, and 7. It says, For we through the Spirit wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. For in Yahshua the HaMashiach neither circumcisions avail anything, nor uncircumcised, but faith which worked by love. Ye did run well, who did hinder you that ye should not obey the truth. You're part of the family because you obey the truth. You do the right thing at the right time. You don't leave somebody wondering what is going on in a situation and thinking it's okay because you know that you've been hindering the family for over a long period of time. Because you want to do it your way. And that's how family be destroyed because the simple fact is you want to do it your way and not the right way. Family ain't always family. Because the family going to look out for the whole family, not just part of the family.
The whole family.
Let us go to 1 John. Three. 23, 24. 22, 23, 24. And it reads, and whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his sight. Listen to that. We're part of his family. We're part of his family because we keep his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his sight. This is his commandment, that we should believe on the name of Yahshua the HaMashiach, the Son of Yahshua the HaMashiach, and love one another as he gave us commandments. And he that keepeth his commandment dwell in him, and he in him. And hereby we know that he abides in us, by the Spirit which he had given us. by the word which he has given us. See, he begins to be in us and we begin to be in him, and we begin to be part of his family when we do his commandments and those things that are pleasing in his sight. And I want you to look back. Everything that's going on in the world today, do you think that the Most High is pleased with what's going on in the world and with the two candidates that we have, even within your family? Even within your family, do you think the Most High is pleased with your family? But they want to be part of his family, even though they know that they're messing up their family, their kindreds, or lineage. All family ain't family. The same people who he came to protect is the same people who killed him. Our lineage ain't family. And our family ain't lineage. So that concludes the teaching for today. You want to be a part of Yeshua HaMashiach family? For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same as my brother and sister and mother. But let us go to John chapter 7. I'm done. John chapter 7 verse 5. But if you don't want to be a part of his family, this is what happened. John chapter 7 verse 4 and 5. It says, for there is no man that doeth anything in secret, and he himself seeketh to be known openly. Seeketh to be known openly. If thou do these things, show thyself to the world. For neither did his brother believe in him. See, when you don't believe in Yeshua the HaMashiach, you can only be a physical connection and not a spiritual connection. But when you want to believe in him, you can be a physical and a spiritual connection. See, James, he only was able to have that spiritual connection once he started to believe. Your thought process means a lot. Okay? So thank y'all for the word. Thank y'all for your time. Let me go ahead and close out. I hope you got something from this today. And I hope the Most High truly bless you. As we come here today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you. We give you all the honor and the glory. Abba, we thank you for everything you have done and what you continue to do. Abba, we thank you for just being you. We thank you for taking the fish scales off our eyes and putting everything into the right perspective and category. Even though we have physical lineage or blood relatives, we can understand that they're not truly family because they're not lining up with your word and they're not doing what you say do. So that this is clarity to us and not take it personal that it's only a limited people that's going to really truly believe in your word and do that. And that's who you call family, and that's who we should call family. We can understand that blood lineage and blood relatives are just that, blood relatives. That doesn't mean that anything more or less. But let us just put it in perspective and let us walk in the ways that you want us to walk. Because we know that everybody's not going to believe the way we believe. Everybody's not going to live the way we live. But I would just ask that you continue to help us and guide us and cover us and protect us. But let us continue to see and take the fish cuts out of our eyes. So, because we see the division in the United States. We see the division because of the thought process and what they believe, how it is okay for characters to live in this world. We see that there's a big division among the people. We see that there's a big strife between abortion and non-abortion. We see that there's a big strife between trying to follow righteousness and follow wickedness. We see that there's a big division where it's okay for young boys to wear girl clothes and young girls to wear boys clothes. We see there's a big division there. We see there's a big division between it's okay to murder or kill when it's not. When your words say thou shalt not murder or thou shalt not kill. So, Father, we see that you're separating the wheat from the tares. Because the reason why people are, it's a separation because people want to be connected to people because of how they look and not what they believe in. So, Father, we ask that you continue to lead us and guide us and cover us. We ask that you continue to let us understand that you are the head of the children of Israel and the Gentiles that connect themselves to the Gentile Israel. We understand that you are the ones that make the decision for the children of Israel. No other nation, and no other nation shall be. We should not set another nation over us. So, Father, we ask that you continue to be with us and lead us and guide us and direct our footsteps and protect us and cover us. But, Father, whatever your will is, let it be done on earth as it is in heaven. And in all these things we pray in your higher name. So let it be. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Y'all have a blessed one.
So much pain, stand together, we stand together. The sunshine and the rain, we fuss and fight. God knows we do each other's soul. You singing with us? Yeah. We're in trouble. Yeah. Down on our knees. Come on, y'all, we gotta go. Say it. We learn a family. That prays together will stay together. A family that prays. A family that prays together will stay together. We gotta go. A family that prays. A family that prays together will stay together. A family that prays together will. Yeah, from the top, we gotta go. Already, we are a family. Hey, that's been through so much pain. God knows we've been through things. Stand together through the sunshine and the rain. We fuss and fight. We fuss and fight.